Hey. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Eorzea. I am joined, as always, by the beautiful and talented Pyra. Say hello.
Hello, friends.
Awesome. So we have some hot news this week. Be assured there will be no spoilers per se. We will be talking about the expansion again, but nothing like content-wise in terms of story, more like general impressions and what is going on in the game. Yeah, that being said, let's get into the news.
Let's do it.
Okay, Twitch drops. So they are doing another Twitch campaign, but unlike the Chocobo event, this is pretty much anyone who's streaming Final Fantasy XIV with their Twitch drops enabled. I have seen quite a few additional lurkers in my channel. Have you noticed any positive impact from that as well?
Absolutely. I've had a lot of new people join the stream, as well as kind of old friends that have kind of come back up and definitely have like doubled and tripled some stream numbers over on Twitch. So it's been really nice getting some new fresh faces, even if they're just lurking in the chat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I have no problem being background noise. I'll be background noise all day. Like, just, yeah, it's nice having people in the channel. I mean, there isn't necessarily a financial benefit to smaller streamers, obviously, but at least everyone gets something. You get the mount, and it really didn't take very long. I think the biggest problem for me was trying to view a streamer myself when I was so far behind in the story. So I'd have to like watch a person who was intentionally not doing any story stuff, or mute them and have them on kind of on a screen I wasn't looking at. Like, that was a little bit tricky. Were you able to get drops on yourself, or?
I was, and fun fact that I don't think was intended by Twitch, by streaming and like having my preview on the back end counted towards my 6 hours. So
oh wow.
I wasn't expecting that. Like, I was watching some of my regular people and kind of having them also as background last week when I was like cleaning or, you know, straightening my hair, and then all of a sudden, like, I needed more hours to get the Chikorpikar, and I look after streaming and it says you got it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Wait a minute. I didn't even try that. The thought had occurred to me. I'm like, okay, I wonder if that would work, but I never did give it a try. So
yeah, it was definitely unexpected, but kind of a nice little bonus. I already have them out, but my husband doesn't, so I was just like, here you go. Have a Chikorpikar.
That was perfect. And then, I mean, it was nice because it was an event that was US only. So some of us Canadian peeps actually had a chance to get the mount. And for people who already had it, you had the ability to get it on a different character. So that was kind of cool.
Absolutely. And even the food drops, the meal drops, are not to be slept on too. It's very minor, but most in-game meal buffs are plus 3%. And the special ones are plus 4%. So it's nothing that's gonna like make or break your leveling experience, but to get free meals that give you even more XP, not a bad choice.
No, not at all. And there is still the concurrent Mountain Zoo promo with Mountain Dew. Have you gotten that one?
Oh, I have.
Okay.
I'm trying to save up. They just restocked some of the items, actually, I learned today. They just restocked the t-shirt and a couple other things, so I'm saving up.
Awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, that's another one that I can't get in Canada, but I had an American friend, a community member, get me a code for the mount, so I at least have the mount. So
nice.
Incredibly nice. So.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, no, I don't know why Canada can't participate in some of these American promos. Like, we have Mountain Dew here in Canada.
I don't understand either. I'm glad that the Twitch things exist because at least it opens the fields, but I'm sure it's like a lot of things. I'm sure it's money. It's always money. It's always business. So I'm sure it's something silly like that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Your news topic, there's a bug in Solution 9. So I haven't been there yet, but what is this about? Like, I read this and I'm like, what is going on?
So I would provide a picture, but, potential spoilers. There is a bug around the Aetheryte, a little far away from the Aetheryte. So you have an Aetheryte kind of ramps that go down. The bottom of the ramps, there's a bug where you can hit the fake wall and jump like 8 or 10 or 9, like 8, 9, 10 blocks. And so this is like the hunt train in certain ways. You're gathering middle of the air up top just for no reason, just because they can. So it's been a weird bug that's kind of like, at first I was like, oh, that's neat, somebody shouted about it, and then I've just seen a bunch of Twitter posts of people like crafting in midair in Solution 9 and just a bunch of like bodies floating. So it's been weird.
Okay, so it's something that's still actively going on, like they haven't patched it out yet.
Not patched out yet. You can't go anywhere besides up. And after that 8th one, you just fall down. So like you can't go out of bounds. I'm sure they'd be more on it if it were like you could walk around out of bounds. You just go up and you sit there, and then if you move, you fall down. So it's something small, but it was like, this is kind of fun. And people are trying to push the boundaries of how far they can go.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It reminds me of in Charlian when they first had those like escort NPC quests, and like the NPCs following you kind of pathed really strange if you jump down something or were on a different level as them. There was some floating and flying going on there for sure.
Gotta love the weird little things that end up being like a community staple for no reason besides the fact that they're funny.
No, absolutely. Okay. Emergency maintenance happened for Xbox players. They gave some free time to everyone. Now, for Xbox, I think we talked about this even last week, about the issues they've been having, and hopefully they don't become another Macintosh. But they have been reimbursed some game time, 10 days. Everyone, due to the issues, gets 2 days. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything for a PC/PlayStation gamer because I didn't really get inconvenienced at all. But do you think this is fair, or?
I think so. I definitely think so. Especially Xbox players really got the brunt of the issues. And 10 days playtime. I mean, that's the whole time that the servers have been available, really, since Dawntrail, maybe a little more. But I think that that's a decent compensation. Like, they can't go back in time and re-give you, that experience. So at least trying to give you some free time is good. And then for PC players, I know myself, I definitely got kicked once. It was just once that they had a connectivity issue. So it's the 2 days for PC is like, I didn't need it, but thanks. Like, right. I'm not going to say no. The one thing I'll have to say, though, is just a reminder to everyone, myself included, that changes. I'm someone who pays just recurring. They just take my money once a month. I don't do the time cards or anything. So that'll shift your pay period more than likely. So if you're someone who needs to know exactly when your money gets taken out, it might be a couple days late.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I have mine come out every 6 months. So it's kind of like twice a year I get this like $200 bill and I'm like, oh yeah, right. Otherwise it just, I don't even think about it. Yeah. The Extreme 2 trial had a cheese bug where a mechanic could be completely ignored. So I heard a little bit about this, like on spoiler-free channels. Like, I don't know what this trial is, what it's about, but I have heard people saying this, that there was a particular mechanic. What is the news around that?
So definitely a spoiler-filled fight. We won't talk about the specifics of the fight itself. However, there is a stack mechanic of sorts that you could skip altogether. So by going into the death wall, which didn't end up hurting anybody enough, it just felt like a tickle, you could just bypass the mechanic by not physically being near it.
Oh.
It would just go away before it hit you. The mechanic would resolve, and then that was it. So people were cheesing it for a while until the dev team came out and said, "Please don't do this. We're gonna patch it. Please, this isn't. we didn't expect this to happen. Please refrain from using the strat." So I had actually tried the strat before because I've cleared both extremes. Both extremes. I tried it before they said don't do it, because at first I was like, oh, this is a strat, before we knew it was a bug. And it honestly didn't make the mechanic much easier. However, it was funny hearing after the fact, like, them just be like, no, please don't go that way. Please don't do this. Not intended.
I mean, yeah, trying to figure out everything a player could do pre-launch is probably a big endeavor. You just never know.
Yeah, and the raiding community in general, like the endgame community, is so hyper fixated. Like, they will try anything. They'll figure out a way to make something broken. And so it's not too much of a shock that they found this so quick, but at the same time, I think it's kind of funny that, like, they do the community kind of slips one by the dev team sometimes, and you just see the dev team with, like, think of the meme with all the math all over the place, and they're just like,
yeah,
what?
Because it's got to be like an Occam's razor kind of thing, like something so simple that they wouldn't have even thought of it, but someone figured it out, and yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels like one of those situations.
Okay. Job changes have already been announced, and not only announced, but there's been some information given on what those are going to look like. Is it too soon?
I don't think so. I'm kind of surprised, though. I am surprised that we're getting changes too soon. I don't know if you had, like, one of your main jobs that you had affected with this one. I know mine slightly did.
You know what? I haven't even looked at what the changes are. I feel like a bad content creator, but I was like, listen, I am just learning, like, Viper right now. And to hear that it's changing in, like, you know, just a week or two is terrifying to me. Like, let me learn the job first and then change it. So I determined, okay, well, maybe if I don't look at it, I'll be surprised, and then I can take it from there instead of worrying over it. But they did say that these job changes would be a focus after launch, but I did not expect this so soon.
Yeah, I'm thinking the only reason why they touched this was because of the Arcadian raids coming out. And so they really, I'm looking at the lodestone right now, they're really trying to make sure that there is none of these issues open, or, you know, they want everything changed by Savage, if not by the normal Arcadian raids. So I know from personal experience, every Viper and Pictomancer I've seen is like they took some steroids. It's kind of crazy, and yeah. I know as a Black Mage player, you know, it is a little sad to see a Pictomancer class with utility pulling, you know, kind of being a bit more favored than a Black Mage. So I think they're adjusting certain weights to kind of not be so overpowered.
Yeah, I've been in some alliance raids that have been almost entirely Vipers and Nectomancers. I'm pretty sure anyone who's doing alliance roulette now has, but things just melt. Like melt.
They're just tearing through everything. It's kind of wild, and I think like reducing that before Savage is probably their main thing, so that people don't start having crazy comps within their teams because it's just too overpowered.
Yeah. No, and I heard about people like trying to skip curtain call and stuff. I'm like, ha ha ha, yeah, right. But then I've been in like Circus Tower since then, and I'm like, no, this could be a thing. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's been wild. There have definitely been the same thing for me. Like even just dungeon runs where certain fights are just melting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
Yeah, so I mean, at the same time, we kind of feel sad, like, hey, no, this is fun, don't change it. But I mean, we are expecting Beastmaster to come out sometime this expansion too, and that's probably going to be the class that is going to be the face melty class. I would predict, like, if Blue Mage had the utility of having extra spells and enemy spells and that sort of thing, I think that Beastmaster would have like the power. I want to see. I want to see it be a combination of like warrior and viper. Just yeah.
I'm so excited to see when Beastmaster comes out because I have a love-hate relationship with Blue Mage, and so like Beastmaster at least intrigues me a little bit more than I feel like Blue Mage does, and I'm also okay with them doing these like alt jobs that don't, like, you know, as somebody who raids, it's like something that is not as serious. I guess I would consider them like Blue Mage. I don't take Blue Mage seriously at all because it's goofy, right? Like I'm doing J kick, you know, the Alexander move. I'm being Shiva with the bow. Like it doesn't feel serious. It feels like just let's have fun and like goof around. So like I'm excited to see that, but with Beastmaster. Like I'm just ready for it.
Yeah. Is that all the news we have? I mean, I guess it's been 20 minutes of news, but I guess it's still, everything is shiny and new. There hasn't been too much coming down.
Yeah, I mean, there really hasn't been a lot that's not story related, I would say. There was one small thing the other day, if you were someone who likes housing. I guess housing settings for like lighting is kind of broken. So
yeah, since the beginning.
So I guess lighting is brighter than usual when set to 0, and like when set to 5, it's not what it should be. So they're gonna try to fix it, but it's probably gonna be like 7.05. They said before they can get to it, I guess. So at the end of the month, lighting should be fixed for housing.
I am just so happy I finally got a large house. It finally happened with the releasing, thanks, of the new lots on Halley. So there is still a lot of housing available in Dynamis if anyone is looking to maybe go to a less congested server and potentially get a house. There is still a lot available. Mediums, smalls, not so much on the larges, but...
Good to know, too. There are a lot of... I mean, being on Primal, there's nothing. Like, everything is overly congested and, like, no housing ever anywhere. So it is good to see that, like, there's still space other places.
Absolutely. So if you needed another reason to come move to Dynamis, there it is. But
yeah, I actually had a friend recently leave our FC and like to go to Dynamis because of the perks too within the past week. So she's from Brazil, so she kind of, you know, she was going over there for like a number of reasons, but one of them was she's like, the perks are too great to not snatch up. So definitely been seeing some people making their way over to Dynamis.
Absolutely. So I mean, you get the extra experience buff. You get the gill, and that's on top of like having housing available and congestion at a very very low level. So I can't sell it enough. Please come to Dynamis. I mean, Dynamis has been fantastic since launch because we haven't had any of the wait times for roulettes or anything that we used to have prior to. So now that we're actually like a functioning server with people on it, it's like, please don't go after all of this is said and done. Please stay here.
Debbie just brings out the plate of cookies.
Come for the leveling, stay for the housing. Come on.
We need to have an ad segment that plays partway through. Join Dynamis.
I do have a YouTube video that is a promotion for moving to Dynamis.
Perfect.
Oh man. Yeah, no, can't sell it enough. Come on, go to the dark side.
Especially Aether players. Like Primal, we've been doing pretty good, but Aether, oof, I keep hearing people on Aether have been having like issues logging in or like queues, and I'm like, come on, you can leave.
And I mean, honestly, it's the only server that North Americans can go to right now, so you don't have any other options. If you want to travel somewhere, we're the destination.
Debbie, that sounds like a bullying technique at this point. You have nowhere else to run. Only Dynamis.
Oh man. There are a couple of communities here. Like a couple of content creators have moved over, so it's happening. You're ground level. Get a house now while they still exist. Yeah.
Because that'll probably dry up at some point too.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's it for the news. Let's move on to the hot topics. I guess before I even get started on the hot topic, one of the hot topics is being hot. Like the world is on fire right now, or at least North America is. How are you coping with the heat, or is it very hot where you are?
I'm not coping.
You're not coping?
I work, so... Today was my first day back into the real world again, where I had to go to work for the first time since Dawntrail, because I took that whole week off. And we don't really have air conditioning, and it's an old mill building.
Oh.
So it was probably about 90 degrees in my office all day. I've been coping by looking at Final Fantasy memes and wishing I was in Dawntrail. That's kind of what I've done. How about you?
It is hot here, so we are in the middle of a heat advisory because normally it doesn't get this hot here. So the only room in our house that has air conditioning is the bedroom because we only have like one small portable air conditioner. And so, yeah, it's warm. It's very warm.
I'm ready for fall. Like I need my New England fall. Leaves, crunchy leaves, and chilly and sweater all the time. Like that is in my mind. Just keep visualizing fall, October.
Yeah. So, I mean, I watched a bit of the weather news this morning, and obviously my heart goes out to people in places like Las Vegas and down in that area where you're hitting like 7 consecutive days of plus 100 temperatures. Like, be safe out there.
It's been wild too. Actually, one of my favorite content creators in the 14 space lives in Texas, and Texas got hit with a huge hurricane or tornado, hurricane, something like power's out, roofs are ripped off of houses. Like, the weather down there has been like pretty wild. So like, also my heart goes out to them. It's been crazy weather for like everyone lately. So I've seen a lot of creators even on Twitter be like, hey, I have no power or internet. I'm sorry, I'll post when I can. So it's been a bit wild.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess bottom line is Dawntrail is fantastic, but please take care of yourselves first. Like, don't melt into your chair and dehydrate and die. Like, just take extra care of yourself. Make sure there's some coolness, extra hydrate. whatever you need to do. The other hot topic is how do we phrase this? The negative responses to the expansion that are coming out in places before most people have even completed the story were expectations people had of Dawntrail a little too high. Like, it seems to be, maybe it's the vocal minority, but it seems to be a lot of people appear to be dissatisfied with it.
Yeah, it's been, for me, it's kind of a twofold problem, and you touched on both of them. One, I think, is exactly like that first part of what you said. Like, there's still a lot of people not done with the story, and people are like blatantly passing the etiquette of don't talk about super spoilers out in public yet, and they're just ripping the story to shreds, and they're really like being hypercritical. I mean, there's a lot of different opinions out there, so I mean, it's hard to make a blanket statement. However, I do think that people really thought, okay, Endwalker was Shadowbringers was great, Endwalkers was great, Dawntrail has to be great, and I think it's such an unfair expectation to put on an expansion that follows a 10-year arc, a decade arc. I think it's an unfair expectation to think that the next chapter would be this mind-blowing, mind-numbing experience. Like, I don't know if you think that as well, but I think that that's kind of part of what's happening.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, Yoshi said it himself as early as a couple of years ago that the story ending in Endwalker had gone to such a dramatic high. Like, if you say critically where the story ended, it ended like in outer space at the end of the universe, killing a god. Like, there is nowhere the story could go up. Like, it was the up. It was already there. The only place this story could go is back down to build up the drama again for the next arc. And if you know anything about story writing, you would have figured that one out too. So it seemed only natural to me that we would be starting at kind of a Realm Reborn level, being introduced to new locales, new characters, getting invested in them and their lives, so that there's something at stake for the next drama.
I completely agree. I think there's this like instant gratification problem people have too, where if a story doesn't like hook, line, and sinker within the first couple of quests, they're like, well, this is a little dry, this is slow. And I can understand some people's like points, but I feel like some people are like really blowing it like way out of proportion past any expectations that I think are realistic.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I guess the second part of this topic is a little bit more sensitive, and that is people's opinion of the main protagonist to begin with. In that some people are personally not liking the character, other people just don't like the way the character was portrayed. Do you think, now I haven't gotten halfway through the story, I'm not there yet, I'm just at the 94 quests, like, do you think that there's too much of an attachment to one character, so if you just happen not to like that character, it might spoil your impression of the entire expansion? Like, did they follow this character maybe too closely?
Without spoiling, I think it's, I saw somebody sum it up pretty well where, and this is not a spoiler because we know this even pre-Dawntrail story, we're following Wook Lamot's journey. So in pretty much all the other expansions leading up to this, we're really the main character, or at least like majority the main character. I feel like Dawntrail is the first light that sheds on someone else and doesn't put us like 100% in the foreground. Like when Wook Lamot came to us, it's not like, hey, I want you to be the next Dawn servant. I want you to help me, not I want you to be. So I think a lot of people aren't used to that kind of paradigm shift. And I think that that's where some of the frustration has come to this character, because people are going to like or hate her personality, her character, everything. And I think because of like this shift that we have in like the story writing, I think that's what's probably ruffling more feathers than we would expect.
Yeah. Okay. No, I can understand that for sure. And I mean, my thoughts just keep going back to obviously the end of Endwalker, where we're told like our job now is to go and see this world we've saved. Like, congratulations, you're the hero of the world. Now go see what it is that you've done. Like, go bask in the scenery, go meet the people, go find out what it is that you've actually done. And I mean, obviously, Emmett Sulk lists a bunch of places we haven't been, things we haven't seen, and we're just living now for the experiences, right? Like, that was kind of my impression of where the story would be going next. So,
and that was mine too. And I think that's a great point. Like, we're really here to see the impact of the rest of the world. I think people are having a tough time separating, you know, because a lot of people get attached to their warrior of light. They get attached to like being that focal point. And I think with some of the focal point being shifted, they kind of don't know how to react. Like, they don't know how to feel. So I definitely haven't found the frustration to be my experience. I went through the entire MSQ the first 3 days because I was nuts and I just kept going through, and I personally really enjoyed the story arc, and I'm excited for what's to come. So I can see other people's like opinions for the most part, but I know it's been tough because some opinions have been like downright negative, like worse than negative, like actually kind of nasty, and like I don't know about some of that.
Well, I mean, that's it. Like, if a person has a criticism about something, like you said about maybe the character, you can say that. You can say, hey, you know what? Overall, I think the expansion was kind of okay, but I really wasn't fond of this character. They just didn't resonate with me. And I could be like, okay, cool. I totally understand your point of view. But when you just out and out say like, oh, this is the worst expansion of all time. It was terrible. I hate that character. That doesn't give me any assistance in joining you in your argument or in countering your argument. I just don't know where to go from there. It's just I think we need to get back to a place where we can share ideas and talk about it, you know? Like,
absolutely. I think Dawntrail for some people is getting the curse that Stormblood did, where granted I think that Stormblood is one of the weaker expansions. However, I've heard so many people be like, it's garbage, it's awful, worst. And it's like, okay, well, let's talk about that deeper. Nope, it's garbage, it's awful. And I'm like, little something more to like talk about, like, instead of just completely dismissing. So I think for some people, that's the treatment that Dawntrail is getting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're better than that. Okay, I want to believe we're better than that. So yeah, if you do have any non-spoilery critiques of the expansion, let us know in the comments below. We are more than happy to dive in there with you and either agree or disagree, as long as we're doing it respectfully, right? Like, that's what this community is about, is you know, enjoying the game together and being respectful of one another.
Absolutely.
Unless I'm out to lunch, but
well, if you're out to lunch, I'm going with you.
I'm just getting old, that's all. Yeah.
Can't we all just get along?
What do we got? We got tip of the week. Tip of the week. Slash iSearch. iSearch. Is it something that you've known about as a long-term player?
I love it. I love it. I love it. And here's why. I have a lot of retainers, and I have a small brain sometimes. My one brain cell takes up a lot of space, so I forget where I put things, or I put things in multiple retainers. So it is by far one of my favorite things in the game.
Yeah. Okay, so let's put this on the screen. Okay, so this is /iSearch item. So this is a chat command you can put into your chat box. It works on any console, PC. And you just put iSearch and then a space and then anything that you're looking for. If it's a quest item and you know it's a shirt, if it's a Fantasia but you only know the first 3 letters, like it will tell you where it is located, like which retainer, what page of their inventory, like it will find this item for you if you have it, which is phenomenal, saves you from looking absolutely everywhere, like searching your retainers, chocobo bag, inventory, and not being able to find what it is you're looking for. It will tell you. Has honestly been a godsend. Like there are some times I've had to use it. Or I used it quite a bit with relic collecting. Like you can enter in iSearch Manderville and it will list all the Manderville weapons you have so you know which ones you're missing, or what stages they're all at. Like it is just super helpful.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm glad you chose that tip this week because for me, I'm thinking I do a lot of raiding. And I put totems in I put totems in my inventory. I put totems in my saddlebag and in retainers. And sometimes I want to buy something and I'm like, oh, I only have 2 on me. And then I search and I'm like, oh, well, I have 3 in that retainer, 1 in the saddlebag. So it's kind of nice to like have that little sanity check in between doing content.
Absolutely. So definitely take advantage of this. If there's anything that you would like to search for in your inventory, this is a thing. And if you have any questions on how to use it, let us know. We'll be happy to help you out. So that is our tip of the week. What do we got now? What aren't we talking about? Shh. Okay, so this segment is something that has been spoken about at length to death. There is more than enough topics on this conversation to last a lifetime, and we've heard enough of it. So we are going to say our final words on this topic and then let it die forever. Forever. It's been very topical lately. I've seen it come up all over the place in Reddit and on Twitter since the release of the graphics update, especially. We are not talking about visual mods versus in-game graphics. Pyra, do you have anything to say?
I have strong opinions about modding, and I don't even want to touch it. I don't even want to touch it myself. How about you?
You know, I've never used them myself. For the majority of my playtime, I've been a console player, and I just enjoy the game graphics as is. I come from World of Warcraft, where obviously I use dozens and dozens of mods to customize my game. But because Final Fantasy XIV has written it against the terms of service, I just don't, because I'm terrified of losing my account and the thousands of dollars I've spent on in-game items. So, you know, I've got too much at stake. I can't risk losing any of it. You don't
thousands.
You don't understand. My Fantasia addiction is real. So my final word is, you know what? Do what you want as long as you know what the risks are and you're willing to take them. Play the game however you want to play the game. I have nothing more to say.
I think that's a great way to put it. Just to each their own. To each their own. Just know that there are potential risks associated. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's it. And then we're not talking about it. Okay. Coming dates. You've got the Arcadian normal.
I'm so ready for the Arcadian normal. Next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, is patch 7.01.
Pretty close. I don't know if I can fit. I'm going to try to finish the story by then because I like getting in on the normal raids like at the beginning. I find it super fun. But that deadline is fast approaching.
It's coming up quick. For before Dawntrail launched, I was like, oh, they give us a while. And now that we're like a week away, I'm like, I'm ready. I'm physically ready. Like, my character's max geared. I have all my weapons. I have all my accessories. I'm fine. But I'm like, panic. We have raid season coming. Panic.
And then how long after that is the Savage? Is it 2 weeks?
2 weeks. So end of this month, July 30th will be Savage. And,
so now, sorry.
I was just gonna say, and what are your favorite things? I believe
maps.
Yeah,
maps. I am so ready for maps. So as a person who does raids, like when the normals come out, do you just kind of do them to death and then that kind of prepares you for the Savage, or is there not much overlap?
So I personally don't do them to death in the sense of preparing for Savage. I will go in with my group, like my static, for making sure everyone has the gear that they want to get. And so sometimes that takes multiple clears to make sure that everyone's getting all full pieces for everything. Well, especially because we have the lockout.
Yeah.
The lockout, so making sure that everyone has what they have. I'm in what I would consider like a mid-core static, which, there are different ways that people put statics. I'm mid-core, so kind of middle of the road. I don't really go super hardcore. We don't really practice the fight as much as it is just kind of like prepping your gear, making sure people's synergies are together. So we'll go in as a full group to make sure that everyone's feeling good on the classes that they picked and kind of go from there.
Okay. So the 2 weeks kind of in between is just kind of fine tuning. It's not a lot of panic or spamming duties. It's just making sure you're ready.
Yeah, for a group our size, for sure. I know some people started weeks before Dawntrail for like hardcore groups prepping for Arcadian Savage. That's just not how my group likes to go. We do keep it fun and kind of go at just a few hours, 6 hours a week now is our commitment. So we're more focused on clearing, but also like being goofy and having fun at the same time versus some groups who are just focused on clearing.
No, for sure. Like the Larry Czars of the world. Like, come on.
Exactly.
Oh my God, did the question just get out of my brain? Oh, it was a good question too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It just disappeared on the wind. Dang. Okay, maybe it'll come back to me. Maybe it'll come back to me.
Around.
In the meantime, community check-in. Community check-in. We have asked you to send in taco art. We do have some taco art to show that we've collected. What do we got?
I am making that face because the taco art is simultaneously beautiful and scary at the same time. I think because Dawntrail was also like, we even see Graha with his taco in the trailer. Like, it was a very taco forward art week, I feel like, in the community, and some was adorable, some was sad, and some was downright WTF.
Okay, let's here. I think I'm just setting it up, making sure that no one's info is being shared here. Okay. So this picture broke my heart the first time I saw it. It's the little dancing guy, isn't it?
It's one of the. I don't think it's a specific little dude, but it's a little dude with a taco and it's on the ground. It was so sad.
Have you seen? Every time I pass him, in the city.
He's like doing this
yeah,
thing.
yeah, he like eats it and then does a little dance. That is totally me. I can't believe he doesn't have his taco.
I feel so bad.
I know of this corn. I haven't talked to this corn.
I just started talking to the corn. I am a new child of the corn. But it was just so adorable. I was like, oh my god. He's trying to share his taco with the corn.
Aww. Oops. Aww. Just a really nice picture of loving taco.
The quickness that people are finding to draw these in the midst of like doing the story and doing the expansion, like I'm impressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are some good artists out there.
For sure.
Baby Taco and Burrito Mamul Jaws.
Come on. This is adorable.
I don't know what to say about this.
Like, I don't know why it's cute, and then you're like, wait a second, we're not gonna eat them, right? But I thought it was adorable.
The big eyes, yeah. And of course there's an Aaronville taco.
That one.
Because Aaronville's like, even before Dawntrail, Aaronville won everybody's hearts. Like, as soon as people saw that Aaronville was coming into Dawntrail, they were excited. So, we stay in Aaronville. Of course, I had to put the Big Fat Tacos Emerald Weapon picture. It's like 4 years old now, but it's not going anywhere.
Big Fat Tacos are forever.
And then this happened. Like, what? I'm only 94 in the story. I don't know what happens to inspire this.
You'll have to keep doing the MSQ to find. No. Wow.
What is wrong
really
with you people? Oh my god.
I feel like we could just do an episode on this character's art in the past week. My eyes need bleach.
Okay. So speaking of weird bays, I guess. Community check-in topic this week. Please post in our Discord community check-in channel who your Final Fantasy 14 crush / BFF / husbando / I don't know how many other words there are for this. Waifu. Put them in the Discord. Let us know who is your forever Final Fantasy 14 NPC. I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to see who says that. But obviously it's a thing.
It's a without spoiling, it's a thing.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that happened. But yeah, if you can let us know who your favorite is, I would appreciate it. We'll talk about it next week. We'll see who wins. See if there's a tie. See if there's anyone that really stands out as being the number one NPC.
Do you want to spoil your favorite, or are you going to wait till next week?
I'm gonna have to really think it over because I've got a couple. Like, Amric is way up there.
Just a good boy.
Oh my god. Did not have enough screen time, I don't think. I mean, we spent most of Heavensward with him. We even got to have a dinner with him alone, but
it was interrupted though.
It was interrupted.
A redo.
We haven't really seen him since, so he needs a little bit more love. But then Grahatia, I'm afraid of upsetting him. You know, like, it might not be entirely reciprocated to the same degree, but I'm also afraid of breaking his heart. So
that tracks. That's fair, though.
What about you?
All Emmett all day long. Emmett Self, just fantastic. The attitude, the look, the character, the character arc. Oh my god, I love Emmett. Every time he came back, I was like, "It's the boy. He's back."
There were some really good moments for that. The story did him really good, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. I was very happy, even when you do Seed of Sacrifice, and all of a sudden this cloaked figure comes in and
does the thing.
Like, oh, it's him. And the little wave. I'm like, yes. So Emmett all day.
Awesome. Okay. Is that everything we have today? Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about with the time we're here?
I think that's pretty much it for the current time being. I know a lot of things are going to be happening probably between now and next Tuesday as they gear up to do some hot fixes, as they gear up for week 1 of Arcadian and patch 7.01. So I know we'll probably have a little bit more technical news next week, but a lot of good things for the beginning of Dawntrail, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just really excited about finishing this story and seeing where it goes from here. I am invested. I've been really, really good about not getting ahead of my community and holding back. And I have been so thankful that there are so many other things to do that I haven't felt like I've been wasting any time. Like, I've been so busy with so many other things. I just feel like I haven't been missing out. And so just excited to carry on that story and hopefully be able to raid with everyone else next week. Next week. Yeah, absolutely. Other than that, I think we're done for this week. I hope everyone had a fantastic time with us. We will be back next Monday, same time, same channel. Please hit us up in our Discord. Check out our socials in the description below as soon as I edit them in. Pyra, you have been fantastic. It is always a pleasure to spend the evening with you. Thank you so much for being here.
Likewise. Thank you so much, my friend.
Absolutely.
Further to Dawntrail.
We go, and we'll probably be logged in just a few minutes here.
Absolutely. I have raid farming to do.
There we go. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Take care of yourself. Love yourself as much as you love others, and I will see you all in game. Bye.
Bye, friend.